So, quick interview with Mr. Cody Rhodes, who's joining us here today. Cody, how was 2016 for you so far, as we're coming up to the end of it?
It's been very telling.
Yeah.
Probably the word I'd use to describe it. Very telling. Making the decision to leave, not really having all the confidence in the world on the outside, but maybe not like particularly on the inside, and then seeing like it's nice to find out like you were right. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, because there's a very real risk that it might have just backfired completely. Yeah. Like your tail between your legs.
Yeah, and to find out that you were right on some level is it's really nice. Also, it's really cool to have done. Compete for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. Yeah. Show up at Bound for Glory. Scheduled to be at Ring of Honor Final Battle, and then maybe even one more.
And be at Southside Wrestling.
And be at Southside Wrestling. Yeah, no, this is actually one that I've been looking forward to for quite some time, because I have Pete Dunne being who he is.
Yeah, do you have much experience and exposure to the independent scene? Because being in that WWE bubble, do you kind of miss out what's going on, or do you have an active interest in it?
I think I had a really good idea as to what I was getting into, because I took my dad around on his kind of independent farewell tour in the States, and that was like the bad. Like Southside is like, I don't even like saying Southside is an indie, because it's a brand.
Yes.
And like, that's what's like, there's a difference between, I feel like, a brand and an indie. And some of these indies that I took my dad to were the carny, really carny.
Right,
really,
it still exists.
Money missing, like, and he was always, you know, happy, because it was about the fans at that point for him. But I had seen the dark side of it, I guess, that year I took him around when I was 19. So for me, I feel like I'm smart to some of it. But this is all a learning process. Every ring is different. That's new for me. You know, like, this is all a learning process.
What's your opinion on the UK independent scene from what you've seen of it so far? Were you pleasantly surprised or disappointed, or what?
I think because it's very obvious in America what's going on over here. So there's kind of two sides of the coin. In America, like, we kind of joke the British are coming, which I don't even know, like, when I say that, I don't even think Brits understand. Like, in American history we study, the British are coming is a quote from Paul Revere during the Revolutionary War.
I only know it from when the Beatles turned up.
So it's a quote from the Revolutionary War, you know, and alluding that the British are coming to attack. And I say it now because in the States you have Zack Sabre Jr., you have Marty Scurll, Osprey, you have so many guys that are like just being fully accepted and adopted. It's cool to see it turn around, because coming over here, my only experience has been with What Culture, and Kurt Angle and I got to main event that Manchester show, and to not be treated as imports was really cool. To be treated as like, nah, if you were on our TV sets, you're one of us, you know, and if you're in this ring right now, you're one of us, and that was nice.
That's very much a British mentality, to be honest with you. Like, it's welcome in or earn your stripes. It's not,
they were. I think it was like so much. They were so welcoming, and that was exciting for me. You know, it's also no secret that you guys are in the middle of a business boom. Business is booming over here. Just independent business in the States is booming, but not like here. Here, it's whenever you see these clips online and stuff, it's on the level of like Battle of Los Angeles. Some of these clips and places, you know. The
thing is, the Brits, we love wrestling. I mean, I'm a big believer. We invented wrestling at Wigan in the Snake Pit, and we love actual wrestling. And going back to yourself with the amateur wrestling, the Georgia State Championships and stuff, have you found that those skills and that experience has benefited you coming to England and being on the independent scene?
Maybe. I think I've been pro wrestling so long that I almost forgot.
Oh, okay.
I almost forgot how to double leg somebody. I almost forgot how to high crotch or outside single or Granby roll. I worked Matt Riddle the other night, and it's kind of like a refresher course on like how not to get your ass kicked, just defensively. It did help me a lot in the beginning, because it's hard if you're just a kid who wants to be a pro wrestler, who has has no athletic experience, there's definitely, wrestling has plenty of those, but it's hard at first because wrestling is a little militaristic. The locker room can be a little like intimidating, you know, places you go.
It's a very old school mentality as well. You go back to like the Hearts and even the Honky Tonk Man, people like that had to learn amateur wrestling before they go to the pro. Was that a conscious decision on your part, or did you want to avoid pro wrestling? Or?
No, all I ever wanted to do was be a pro wrestler from the time I first went, and then I got a little concerned, which is silly, that at 19 I thought, oh, I'm not big enough. Which now when I look at the business, like, it's all shapes and sizes again, as it should be. But I was a little concerned I wasn't big enough, and I was going to go to LA and be an actor, and I studied for like 11 months out there, and it wasn't particularly lucrative or fulfilling, and the whole time I was like, oh, when I make it big in acting, I'll go back to wrestling. Such a backwards ass mind like mentality. Something good came out of it. My acting coach from LA, Howard Fine, is now the acting coach at the Performance Center.
Incredible.
Yeah, so there's something good that came out of it. My dad hooked that up, and I was glad that that worked out.
And of course your wrestling career has led into acting because you've got the part in Arrow and things like that, so it's kind of come full circle.
Yeah, I'm a terrible actor though. I watched that episode and I was like, oh, no, okay, I did all right, but no, that was a big opportunity for me, and I really want to provide acting when it presents itself, my undivided attention. The issue is that wrestling always presents itself first.
Of course.
So I fear the day when it's like, hey, you can do this, or you can do all your dates you have. That scares me. But I think the Arrow thing will lead to more in that CW world, and that's something I'm really looking forward to.
I've brought something along to show you, to remind you of, to start the next question. It's DDP's Yoga for Regular
Holy
Guys.
Shit.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know how long it's been since you've seen this. But
I don't think I saw it once. There I am.
And there it is. It says, it wasn't until a late night gut check conversation with DDP he enjoyed winning in amateur wrestling. What's the relationship with DDP, and what did that mean to you?
Okay, so the relationship with DDP at one point was tumultuous. It is no longer tumultuous. I love DDP. Yeah. My dad always used to joke he had 5 friends, and he got 5 friends. And DDP was always one of those fingers, you know, when he would say he had 5 friends. So I appreciate everything Dallas ever did for my dad. I think he appreciates what my dad did for him, but in flip side, I appreciate what he did for my dad. However, I never really, I come to appreciate DDP so much more as I get older. Because at first, when like this whole Yoga for Regular Guys thing was happening, and now it's, you know, DDP Yoga, I just thought it was annoying. I thought everywhere we went, he was just selling it. One time in a restaurant, he stood up and grabbed his foot and like got his like, you know, gimmick out. Like, it was just like, it was always pushing, and now I see why. He's a master salesman, and he really, like, that was his dream, and he wanted to make it come true. And now he understands me a lot more. A lot of times people make the mistake of thinking I am Dusty or I am Dustin. Dusty, the whole package, charismatic, the man, the deal. Dustin, the friendliest human being you ever met. When people meet me, they're like, dude, he's kind of a dick. Because I'm just rather cold. I'm like my mom. I'm rather cold. So like a lot of promoters, indie promoters, are like, hey, I worked with Dustin, and usually that's like I'm moments away from clicking the phone off, and like, because they expect something different, you know. And Dallas, I think he expected me to be like my dad, and then realized like, oh, he's
his own man.
He's his own guy, and now we have a lot of love for each other. I'd do anything for Dallas.
I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, I was going to ask you, was there ever a point in a wrestling career where you thought you were going to avoid the Rhodes name, in the way like Mr. Perfect didn't?
Well, I mean now, because they want to sue me.
And now, yeah, exactly.
Al Snow once told me, he's like, you should try to do something other than the Rhodes name. You should just go by a different name. He's like, didn't want me to do like a character per se. He was just like, you should do a different name. And I thought about it, but then they started calling me Runnels, which is, you know, my real name at OVW. And then they like built it, like even that was like we were already, it was, the wagon was already out of control. And then when I went to WWE, I went and got called up way too early. Reason being was because I was Dusty's son. It was like the story was built around it. So I could never go back. No. You know, like, I could never go back, and I don't think I ever wanted to go back. I think for a second and third generation, you're presented with a choice of like, all right, I'm going to be fucking really, really good and try and like not just dredge up old memories and be a nostalgia act, or I'm gonna buckle under this pressure. And I've always tried to be the former and try not to buckle under the pressure, because dude, it's not, having your dad be Dusty Rhodes is the coolest thing on earth. And yeah, it's a lot of pressure, and he's just on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling to me, but I can't, like, it's one of those things, what am I going to do about it? It's been that way since day one, so
it is what it is.
I can't at 31 be like, I can't deal with it, you know? So,
well, it's definitely too late then, but
yeah.
you know, I was preferring when you started, you look at Mr. Perfect's son, when we went Michael McGillicuddy and Bray Wyatt and people, I wonder if that was ever an option for you or not.
I don't think so. I wish, you know, I do wish often that NXT had been around when I was around, because they would have kept me for another year. They would have actually let me learn how to do a few wrestling moves before they debuted me on TV. But that's not the cards I was dealt. Like, I was dealt a different hand, and I don't regret it. OVW was a learning experience in its own right. And if you look at the track record of success, OVW holds up. You know, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Randy Orton, CM Punk. I feel like then there's me, and I'm like the lowest on that totem pole, but whatever. I'm still on the totem pole. Melina, she's here. Yeah, she's an OVW girl.
Changing tact a little bit slightly, I want to discuss the Our Ladder campaign you did with Ciampa with relation to Chris Travis here in the UK. How did that first come about, and why? Why did you go from hearing about it to actually doing something about it?
Well, I just like charity's just fun. You do charity one time, and like it's like a sickness. You want to keep doing it, and thank you, sir. You want to keep doing it, and I wanted to keep doing it, so I asked just on Twitter, like, hey, what's a good charity? Because I wanted to do an animal charity, but almost every answer I got was, you should do something for Chris Travis. Okay, like every answer, and I never met Chris Travis, so I thought maybe that'll be a little like fraudulent. I've never met him, and I never met him, so I don't want it to be fraudulent, and it didn't matter. Everyone was on board, and Ciampa and Dijak and Bennett, they were all okay with it, so I was like, cool, we'll just give all those proceeds. And I got to meet Chris's brother at a WWE Live event, and you know, I think we did know each other, if that makes any sense, because the world of wrestling is like, we're one big family. We're a really fucking dysfunctional family, excuse the F-bomb, but like,
that's all right.
But you remember yours, you know what I'm saying? So it was nice to, like, I didn't know him, but I hope I can help with, you know, someone else who's ever in his situation, you know.
I think it's earned you a lot of credit and kudos here in the UK. I think it's certainly earned a lot of praise and respect for you. Right,
Thank you.
We've got to wrap this interview up because we're getting told by the boss.
Yeah, they're telling us the doors.
One question split into two. What do you think or want your legacy to be, and will there ever be a Cody Rhodes book or autobiography?
I think I'd like I think I used to have a plan for my legacy. For the longest time ever, I just wanted to be WWE World Heavyweight Champion, because that was the belt my dad didn't win. Oh, I could be the one who won it. That won Rhodes. And now I can honestly say I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue what my legacy, what I want it to be. All I know is that the moment I stopped thinking about the big picture is the moment that this all became fun again. So maybe I'll think about it down the road. I think right now I just married. I got 3 dogs. The goal in life is to make sure Brandy and those 3 dogs are okay, and that wrestling fans are happy. It's a pretty.
That's not an amicable goal.
Yeah,
that's a nice goal.
pretty. You know, that seems less overwhelming than this kind of long, overreaching wrestling saga that I thought I had been on all this time.
On that note, are you enjoying it more?
Yes, and I never stopped enjoying it when I was doing Stardust, but I stopped being as excited about it. Now I'm so excited, and it's kind of on my own terms. Everyone's been really generous, oh, you do what you want, cool. And what I want is people seem to like it. So we've had the thing I know, some of the haters as far as wrestling are concerned, they get really irritated when I tout certain successes. But the reason I do that, because that's the bottom line. If you can set record houses places, well, then you don't feel as bad when somebody on Twitter is well, you can't do that backflip into a slop drop. You know, you don't feel as terrible when the bottom line is fans in seats and happy at the end of the night. So
and every wrestler touts themselves. That's the whole thing. That's
true. That's pro wrestling. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Cody Rhodes. Massive honour for me to interview the man. Cody, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Very much. Thank you, buddy.